Have you ever wondered why your life seems to hurt more than most? Have you ever felt like pain follows you, no matter how hard you try to do the right thing? Maybe you wake in the night with a heaviness you can't name. Maybe, despite your best efforts, it's as if the world keeps closing its doors on you. And some days, you might wonder, what did I do to deserve all of this? If you've ever felt unseen, misunderstood, or like you carry a weight no one else seems to notice, you are not alone. There are moments in life when the pain feels so deep, so personal, that it's almost as if you were chosen for it. But what if, beneath the surface, that's exactly what's happening? What if the struggles you face, the loneliness, the heartbreak, the endless string of obstacles are not a curse, but a sign? A sign that your soul is marked by the divine. This is not a story of punishment. This is not a story of being less than others or of failing in life. This is the story of being set apart, of carrying a hidden light that the world doesn't always recognize. Tonight, we invite you to step into this story, to see your pain not as an enemy, but as a message written just for you from a place beyond this world. As the ancient scriptures say, the Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit. So, if you're ready, take a deep breath. Let your soul rest for a moment. This is a safe space, and this story is for you. There's a kind of pain that doesn't show up on medical scans or in lab reports. It's the ache you feel when you try to belong, but always feel like an outsider. It's the way your heart tightens when you see others laughing together, but you feel a quiet distance, an invisible wall that keeps you apart. It's the sense that your life has always been harder than it should be, as if you were born under a shadow you cannot escape. You may have asked yourself, why me? Why does life seem so much more difficult than it is for others? You may have replayed memories, looking for answers, wondering if you did something to deserve this. But what if your suffering is not a punishment, but a calling? Throughout history, many have spoken of the marked ones, those chosen for a purpose beyond themselves. Joseph, sold by his brothers, spent years in darkness before becoming a leader who saved nations. Moses, rejected by his own people and forced into exile, returned as a liberator. Their stories, and many like them, begin in pain, in loss, in feeling abandoned and forgotten. And maybe your story, too, began with pain. Maybe you lost someone you loved. Maybe you grew up feeling different, carrying wounds no one else could see. Or maybe you have lived your whole life with a sense of longing, searching for a home your soul remembers but cannot find. These are not just accidents. Sometimes the divine chooses those who can carry the weight of the world because their hearts are strong enough to transform that pain into healing, not just for themselves, but for others. It's easy to believe that pain means you've done something wrong. Society tells us to seek happiness, to chase comfort, to measure our lives by smiles and successes. But what if pain is not a sign of failure, but a secret doorway to something more? The pain you carry may be the result of the divine mark upon your life, a sign that your journey is different for a reason. People marked by the divine often experience intense periods of loss, grief, or sudden change, feeling older or out of place among others, a sense of mission or longing that never fades, empathy so deep that others' pain feels like your own. Science has a name for some of this: highly sensitive people, or empaths. But even science struggles to explain why some souls seem to suffer more, yet emerge wiser, more compassionate, more awake. It's not that the pain is easy or fair, it never is. But over and over, those who carry the deepest wounds become the greatest healers, not because their pain vanishes, but because they learn to live with it, to transform it. As the poet Rumi wrote, "The wound is the place where the light enters you." Your pain, as unfair as it seems, may be the very place where the divine touches your life most deeply. Maybe you're still unsure. How do you know if you have been marked by the divine? No one can answer that for you. But there are signs, gentle, quiet, sometimes hidden in plain sight. 1. You have survived what others could not. Somehow, you are still here, despite everything that should have broken you. 2. You feel things more deeply than others. Joy moves you to tears. Injustice fills you with fire. You cannot help but care. 3. You long for meaning, real meaning. Small talk exhausts you. You want to know why we are here, what it all means. 4. You have experienced unexplainable moments. Dreams that feel more real than waking life. Signs or synchronicities that seem too perfect to be coincidence. You may sense a presence when you are alone, a comfort that cannot be described. 5. You are drawn to stories of redemption, forgiveness, and healing. It's as if your soul knows that the world is broken, but not beyond repair. If any of this feels true for you, your pain may not be random. You may carry a mark, a hidden signature, written in your soul by the divine. And that mark, while invisible to the world, draws certain experiences. No one chooses to suffer. No one wants to carry wounds that don't heal. But the truth is, being marked can be lonely. It can feel like the world doesn't see you, or worse, sees you only as your pain. You may have struggled with feeling out of place, even among friends or family, questioning your sanity when spiritual or unexplainable things happen, cycles of depression, anxiety, or emotional overwhelm, the temptation to numb yourself, to disconnect, to hide, to pretend. These are the shadow sides of being marked. If you have been here, know this: you are not too much. You are not broken. The world is not always gentle with sensitive souls, but your tenderness is not a flaw. It is a gift. As Viktor Frankl wrote after surviving the worst suffering imaginable, when we are no longer able to change a situation, we are challenged to change ourselves. It is natural to wish your pain would simply disappear. But what if, instead, you could learn to listen to it? What if every scar, every disappointment, every lonely night has taught you something precious? The gift of compassion. You understand others in ways only pain can teach. The gift of wisdom. You have learned what truly matters, what is worth fighting for. The gift of resilience. You know how to get up again and again, even when you'd rather quit. The gift of authenticity. You cannot fake your truth. You have learned to honor your own path. Your wounds may have shaped you, but they do not define you. They are the soil in which your truest self grows. And as you heal, you become a living sign to others that it is possible to endure, to transform, to carry light in a world full of darkness. Here's the most important truth. You were never meant to walk this road alone.
The pain you carry connects you to countless others, many of whom may never speak their truth, but who watch, quietly, for someone to break the silence. If you share your story, even in small ways, you create ripples of hope. You remind others that pain does not mean failure, that scars can be beautiful, that life, even when it hurts, is worth living. As the New Testament says, "Weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning." Psalm 35. Maybe this is your morning. Maybe this is the moment your pain starts to make sense, not because it's gone, but because it has a purpose.
You might be wondering, what now? How do you live with this mark? How do you carry your pain, but not let it destroy you? Here are some practices gathered from spiritual teachers, survivors, and those who have walked this road before. 1. Embrace self-compassion. Speak to yourself as you would to a beloved friend. Remind yourself daily, you are worthy, even in your brokenness. 2. Find your tribe. Seek out others who understand. It may take time, but your people are out there, those who have known pain and learned to love anyway. 3. Express your truth. Write, create, speak. Don't bottle up your story. Even if you share it with only one person, that can be enough. 4. Create sacred space. Find a place, physical or mental, where you can be with your soul. Light a candle, sit in silence. Listen for what your pain is trying to tell you. 5. Seek help when needed. Being marked does not mean you must carry everything alone. Therapy, support groups, spiritual guides, there is no shame in reaching out. 6. Practice forgiveness. Forgive yourself, first of all. Forgive those who have hurt you as much as you are able, not for their sake, but for your freedom. 7. Open to the possibility of purpose. What if your life, precisely because of its pain, has a purpose? What if someone, somewhere, is waiting for your story, your courage, your light? You may not see it, but the way you keep going inspires others. Every time you choose kindness, despite being hurt. Every time you show up, even when you'd rather hide. Every time you forgive, hope, or love again. These are miracles. These are signs that the divine mark upon you is working, not by making life easy, but by making your soul luminous. Imagine how many people are waiting for permission to feel, to grieve, to heal, to hope. Your life, by its very existence, offers that permission. Those marked by the divine often feel as if they are between worlds, never fully at home in one or the other. You may be the bridge between hope and despair, faith and doubt, past and future. Your empathy, your depth, your story, they are needed now more than ever. In a world that rushes past pain, that denies suffering, you are a living reminder. It is okay to feel. It is okay to search. It is okay to hurt and still believe in healing. So tonight, as you listen to these words, know this: your pain is real. Your questions are valid. Your journey is sacred. You do not have to fit into anyone else's definition of healed or whole. You do not have to rush your recovery or explain your wounds. The mark you carry is not a sentence, it is an invitation. An invitation to live deeply, to love bravely, to give what only you can give. If something in this story spoke to you, please know, you are seen. You are heard.
You are needed. If you felt seen, heard, or inspired by this message, please share your story in the comments below. What part of this journey resonated with you? Your voice matters. Your experience could be the light that helps someone else find their way. And if you want to continue walking this path with us, exploring the mysteries of soul, suffering, and hope, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with anyone who may need these words. We're here for you. You are not alone. And together, we can discover the wisdom hidden in the wounds.